It's so great to finally be able to host this important film here in Washington that has really been a product of, by, and for the people of Hawaii. My husband had a chance to work on the film as a camera operator, and the days that I spent on the set, I was able to see how you had students from the University of Hawaii. We had veterans from World War II, from the famed 100th 442nd Infantry Regiment. We had their family members. We had the family members and the children of our late Congressman Mark Takai, who were all there and who were part of this incredible venture. This is such an important story to be told that really hasn't been told from this perspective before, because it actually gives us insight into what the day-to-day experiences were of these 5 young men, one of them including Senator Daniel K. Inouye, and what they and their families went through in the days leading up to the attack on Pearl Harbor, as well as what happened immediately after that. How they were spending their lives as maybe young kids or young men do in Hawaii, relatively carefree, to almost the next day waking up to see their loved ones being dragged from their homes and thrown in internment camps, not understanding what was going on, not understanding how they could somehow be dehumanized and treated with such prejudice and bigotry in the only home that they really ever knew. The reason why this story is important to be told through this film and to be shared all across Hawaii and the country is so that we never forget. So that we never forget this bigotry and ugliness that was perpetrated here on our own soil, and to make sure that we never repeat this same mistake again. It is sad when we look around the country today and we see similar signs of prejudice, similar signs of bigotry and even violence, trying to treat people as though they are less than others just because they may be different in some way. So this film reminds us of what the consequences of walking down that path can be, and why it's so important for us as Americans to make sure we never make those mistakes again, and that we actually uphold the values and the freedoms and principles that were built into our country's Constitution. I'd like to pay special tribute to my dear friend Mark Takai, who we're missing very much here today. He had a hand in making this film a reality. Back when he was serving in the State House of Representatives, he really took it upon himself to gather the support so that this film could be made and so this story could be told. I was there when his family came to one of the days on the shoot, and they had cameo roles in the film, and it was a very special way, I felt, for them and really for all of us to stay connected to Mark, the great work that he's done throughout his life, and the fruits of that work coming through in such a powerful way. It's a historic day, and so if you can talk about the significance of what we'll be doing this evening.
Okay, sounds good. So today is October 30th. It's the day that the 442 rescued the Lost Battalion of Texas in the Vosges Mountains of France. And we're so honored to be here, screening the film, and Jake Shimabukuro is going to play in our nation's capital. It's a surreal feeling. Yeah, we're glad to be able to share the story of our vets with DC.
Can you talk about Mark a little bit?
Yeah.
His
So
presence in spirit.
So Mark Takai and I, we were friends, and we talked about this years ago, and so it's very touching to be able to see his, what we talked about come to fruition. And we'd like to thank Tulsi Gabbard, Congressman, for her help in making that happen too. Yeah, we really miss Mark a lot, and he really helped make this film happen. So, yeah.
And then, lastly, we're in Washington, where there's a lot of controversy around different issues. Can you just talk about why you're so invested in this project personally, and how the importance of the story connects with some of the divisiveness and bigotry we're facing today?
It's a very sad and divided time that we're living in, and so even though I've been working on this project for many years, it's sort of strange that the message is still very meaningful. You know, aloha can change the world, and it did 75 years ago, and it can today. So we hope that people will see this and take its meaning to heart, you know.
Floyd, you've been such a great leader in the API community and kind of the glue here in Washington. Can you just talk about why it was important for you to do all the work really in making this evening possible?
Well, you know, excuse me, the 442nd is something that people know a little bit about here, but the story they really don't know is how it started in Hawaii. And I think the story tonight really shows a lot of emotion, a lot of sacrifice, and patriotism that people probably didn't understand in the past. And tonight they'll come to know what role the Hawaiians played in this great legacy.
What kind of response, as you and your team have been spreading the word about this, have you gotten both from folks from Hawaii and maybe folks who don't have any connection with Hawaii?
You know, people have sort of a superficial knowledge of the internment and the role that veterans played. But again, they just are very curious. Why Hawaii? Did it really start in Hawaii? They don't understand that. And I think this is going to be a big revelation to many, many people.
So why is the message of this film important for the API community and the country today?
It's critical for today because we have to understand that we are a nation of a lot of different people, and people sacrifice their families, their selves for the freedoms that they came here to enjoy, regardless of their color, creed, or religion. And so this is a very poignant example of what people have done in the past and what we need to understand that people still do today.
Perfect. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, I'm fine.
I'll ask you, is that APAX as an organization is training youth and young Asian Americans to run for office. Is there something that you would want to tell all those young people that will attend your academies that even those that are not Japanese American, that they should reap from what the message of this film is as they pursue office themselves as Asian Americans in their communities?
Well,
Could you answer to this side, please?
yes.
Thank you.
You know, we are honoring Mark Takai tonight. And Mark Takai was a participant in an Apex leadership program. And I think Mark exemplifies what it really requires, selflessness in order to be a good public servant. And on top of that, to understand the heritage and what happened before in order to give for future generations. So again, this is very, very important for future leadership to understand what was done 50, 75 years ago.
Day today, and you're here representing Mark and your family, and I'm wondering if you can share both your feelings and the feelings of your family and what today means to you.
I'm so honored to be here representing the Takai Ohana here in DC, which was Mark's home, representing the state of Hawaii. And for this film to come about and show what it really means for the Japanese American, we're Sansei, so we're third generation Japanese, and we honor our country. And right behind me is Lady Freedom. We fought for our freedom of the United States, and it really means a lot. And Mark was truly in recognizing the Filipino veterans and the Japanese American veterans on what they did to fight for our freedom, to what we have, and we're so privileged and blessed every day in the United States.
What do you think Mark would say if you were here getting ready to see the film for the first time tonight?
Wow. Mark would be not speechless like me, but Mark would be honored that we're recognizing and showing some unity of a diverse culture, that these people, their parents came to America to have the freedom and the opportunities for their kids, and look what their kids did and fought for our freedom, and trying to unify us and showing the Aloha spirit here on the Hill. Every day he would be trying to unify the Republicans and the Democrats together and representing us as a country and representing the United States and our freedoms and our rights. So.
Last question. I had a chance to see your parents and Sammy and the kids when they were on the set as they were filming in Hawaii. And if you can share a little bit about maybe what they told you, what it meant to them to actually really be a part of the production.
They're very honored that Stacy asked them to be part of the production, and Matthew was one of the volunteer VVV of University of Hawaii, and he was amazed, and he researched more about the Nisei, the Hawaii Japanese veterans, and the 100th Battalion, the 442, and finding out what they did and what they represent and what they represented for Hawaii and the United States. They're just honored to be in the film, and it's just a privilege that we have here in the United States. I was sad that I couldn't be there, but I'm glad I get to represent them here in DC. So.
Anything else you want to say to the people of Hawaii or your family or anybody else who's going to watch?
To come watch this and try to be loving and unified and support each other. This is a very loving world and diverse, but we all are here for our freedom, and be honored that we have these rights and we're able to do this. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
job. Thank you. Perfectly said. This project was a labor of love and passion for so many people. With so many opportunities before you, why did you choose to dedicate so much of your life to this project?
Yeah. Well, it's a super special project, and what I really love about it is it's totally specific to Hawaii. You know, this is a Hawaii story through and through, and we kept it that way. All the cast is from Hawaii, all the crew is from Hawaii, and so for me, I first came onto this project 5 years ago. I was a student at UH at the time in the Academy for Creative Media when I met Stacy, and I made some material to help promote the film, and we met with Congressman Mark Takai, and he showed a lot of enthusiasm and said, yeah, we really need to push forward with this. And looking back and just remembering my time as a student, and then looking at the film and seeing how it's about University of Hawaii students, for me, bringing this small, very specific Hawaii story here to the national stage, even though it's very early on, and this is we're just starting to get it out there. I'm just excited that people outside of Hawaii are interested in the story and want to see Hawaii stories and learn more about this. Yeah.
What relevance does the message of the film have to what people of all ages, races, ethnicities, religions are facing today in this country?
When the characters in this film, they're all real people, and they were about my age when all of this was going on, and I think back to what I would have done in this situation, facing this discrimination from the highest levels and not being allowed to represent your country, being rejected by a country that you love and respect, and I'm not sure I could have acted as honorably as these guys did, and I think we can learn so much from them, and how they were focused on their mission at hand and focused on restoring their honor, and they did it in such an honorable and inspirational way. And anyone who watches this film, I hope that that's the message that comes through, is that if you believe in something and you feel there's an injustice, that there is a peaceful and there's a peaceful way to go about getting what you want. Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I just want to thank APEC and everybody involved in bringing Go for Broke to DC. I never would have imagined 5 years ago that we'd be here and we'd be screening it in this beautiful theater in front of all these honorable guests. And I'm just really, really excited that Go for Broke is finally getting out there. That's all.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Well done.
So Terry is a veteran of World War II and a member of the 442nd Regimental Combat Team. Been very active here in Washington Infantry Battalion, went on to be the most decorated unit of their size and time in battle. My grandfathers, both Japanese Americans in Hawaii, were in turn alongside many enemy aliens, resident immigrants, and others